Hello, this is David Birch at Star Path School of Navigation in Seattle, Washington, with a video illustration of an article we just published on star names and for celestial navigators mostly, or stargazers. And so let us start out with the basics here, and we have a picture. Let me just see this. This is a picture of a Navy, U.S. Naval Observatory star map. Actually, let me show you where you can get that. This is on our page, the support page. I'll put this in the description. This is a support page for our textbook, and it's right down here, the star map. You can get the whole map right there. Just click that. So here's the map, and this illustrates the two. There's several, but we concentrate on two ways that stars are named in the navigation world and in other worlds as well. But one is a proper name, like John, Jane, Mary, or something like that. And all the very bright stars have a name like that. Here's Doobie, Kokab, and so forth. I'll come back to that. And then all stars, and now that's just the bright stars, but all stars have what we loosely refer to as a Greek letter name. If you go in here and you see, it is technically called the Bayer system of naming of stars. And what it does is it just labels, if you have, for example, here is Leo, the lion, and the brightest star in Leo is this guy here, Regulus, and his name's cut off here. That's the alpha star. Then the next brightest is the beta, and so forth, like that. So it's the brightest, it's the alpha star. It's like alpha, like you would think it is. The most dominant star in the group gets alpha. Then they go alphabetically, according to the Greek alphabet, through the other stars in the constellation, often following the degree of brightness, but not strictly always. Now, but when there's, like in the case of the Big Dipper, this constellation here, there's no one particular star that stands out. And in cases like that, they just go and number them in order. So you start out here at the tip of the cup, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, I think is what it's called. And they're just labeled that way. But each of these stars, for example, this star is called Doobie here, it's called alpha, but it also is the alpha star. And so that system is described in the book. I mean, in the almanac. And in the star maps, to understand the star maps, well, that's not a very clear picture, but to understand the star maps in the almanac, we need to understand there's the two systems. And in this article, you can refer to this article, which will also be listed. Here's then a copy of the Greek alphabet that you can use to follow through on those, studying those pictures. There's another way to name stars. It's used now. This is solely for navigation. That there is a designation of star names, star groups, are called navigational stars, and those, by definition, are the ones on the daily pages of the Nautical Almanac. And there are 57 of those stars. And besides being on the daily pages of the almanac, they're also on a special page in the back of the almanac, which is for many years, let's see if this is legible here, for many years it has been on page XXXIII in the back of the almanac. That's the bottom half, that's the top half of it. And that lists these 57 navigational stars. Now, they are all bright stars, magnitude 1 or 2. I had to say magnitude. There's no way around that. Let me bounce back here for a minute. In discussing the names of stars or talking about stars at all, we have to understand the brightness of stars and how that's done. And it's a kind of sophisticated way. I'm not going to do that now. I think I have a video on it. But here's the article. We have an article on the brightness of stars, and that's linked in this other article. So the stars are classified according to their brightness, and the real bright stars are called magnitude 1, and they're all the 20 or so bright guys, and magnitude 2 are about like Big Dipper stars. So in this list of the navigational stars, they include all the bright stars, and then the rest of a few of the. Remember, there's only 20 magnitude 1 stars. There's 57 of these stars, and so the rest are magnitude 2 stars. But these are not chosen according to brightness. They're chosen primarily to be distributed evenly around the sky, so that when you look at any random time of day or at night, you'll see these stars spread across the sky. Let's see. Let me go back. Here's that star chart. This is the Navy star chart, USNO star chart, and you can see how they're numbered. Oh, that's the other thing. These stars have unique numbers. So here's Vega 49, Deneb 53, Alioth, and so forth. So on this this page, XXXIII, that's got the stars listed 3 ways. One, they're organized alphabetically here. That's handy. Then they're ordered by a star number. And this star number is unique year after year, and a lot of navigation programs actually just use that, like Rigel here, star 11. So forth. So this thing is also printed on the bookmark, the insert. Now, in the back of the almanac, now there's another sort of classification of stars in a sense. In the back of the almanac, there's another 116 stars. This list in the back of the almanac, and this is the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the pages in the back. There's actually 174 back there, but they include the navigational stars. But there's 116 new ones plus the navigational stars. And I have to point out something unique that's back here that's, again, related to the naming. They do this in a very unusual way. They give the data for each star for each month throughout the year of that almanac. But on the left-hand side, they use this Bayer, however you want to pronounce it, determination, or Greek letter name, Alpha Geminorum, or here is Alpha Canis Majoris. That's a famous one, Alpha Canis Majoris. That's Sirius, the star Sirius, brightest star in the sky. Now, and so on the left-hand side, they use all the Greek letter name, and the right-hand side, they use its proper name if it has one. So that's good to know. Well, it's good to know if you want to correlate those two names, but it's also critical to know if you ever want to try to use this table in the back. You'll scratch your head for a while trying to figure out what's going on. So that's in the back. And then in here, these table in the back, this is 4, 5, 6 pages table. They're listed, the stars are ordered according to the sidereal hour angle, going down this way. They get bigger going down. So that's the other way to do those stars. Let's see what else. Oh, then we have a note here in this article, which I want to share with you about how to pronounce a star's name. And then what we do is in class, we just say, you just choose how you want to say it. Say it loud and clear, and everybody will believe that you know how to do it. And that's pretty much true. Here, though, there is presented here sort of the standard. There is a standard, sort of, and this listed here. I think in these, what I did in this list is just list the navigational stars, 57 navigational stars, plus a handful of stars that we use or mention in the course. For example, Sagan. That's not anywhere in any of the navigational stars. It's probably not mentioned at all, but we use it in our course for a Regiment of the North Star, which I'll talk about some other time, and so forth. So these are the stars, how to pronounce those. And then one last note, it's a thought on this. If you want to learn more about I think I left off one thought here. Yeah, there is now, and this is really recent, I don't know, it's 2016, 2015 or something, but there is now here, if you click this link here, you go here, which is the official, what's this called now, International Astronomical Union, and they have the official names of the stars. And you look when they were officiated here. These are 2016, 2017, so that's all all fairly new. And so you have this pronunciation guide to start with, and then say it loud and clear and just move forward. Then one last note, there is a book, and it looks like, let's see, do I have a picture of it on Amazon or something? No, I don't, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, here. Here's what it looks like. Back in the day, we have one of these. It's from 1960 Dover paperback, long out of print. It's actually a Victorian classic. It's like 1890. The book is from 1890. It is the classic book on star names, their lore and meaning. And there is, in here, we have a reference to this fellow. Let's see. This fellow here at the University of Chicago, or used to be Bill Thayer, he's transcribed that entire book and organized it here. So that's really an amazing resource. And then the other thing we point out is if you, and I have a link to this page, if you do want to buy one, there's $1. Looks like $1, $2. There's tons of them around for sale. So that's our note on star names. And there's more in here, but I've just buzzed over it. The main thing is you can come back at your leisure and look at this and maybe copy this list of the pronunciations. If you look online, there's all kinds of pronunciation guides, but they sort of look like hieroglyphics. It's really hard to interpret.